Coming up on this week's edition of AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf, we'll look back at the big victory on the road, overtime style against the Greyhounds. Junior Marvin Bragg joins the discussion, and we look forward to the home game against the Patriot League defending champion Colgate Raiders. It all starts right now. Welcome into AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. Dan Laing, Coach Brennan, and boy, you guys coming off another cardiac kids type of game, the 93-91 overtime victory up at Loyola. What was going through your mind as that one was winding down?
Well, I was just happy that we were scoring. We were able to get to the rim. We were getting open shots. We were getting to the foul line. So it was just a matter of locking down on defense, stopping them, and we did. At the times that we had to, we were able to do that.
And you look at 93 points, that's a season high. That had to have made you feel good that you were able to erupt for that many points.
Yeah, you're not supposed to go to overtime games, though, when you score 90, over 90. But yeah, no, I mean, we had 6 guys in double figures sharing the ball, everybody contributing. And it's fun. I mean, people talk about the Princeton offense. Both teams were essentially running some version of that. Both teams were scoring, so it was good to see, everybody sharing the ball, everybody, making shots, making plays. Saeed, doing what he normally does for us.
Yes, I ran into someone before the game, and they said, "Yeah, first 1 to 30 tonight wins."
Yeah, right, exactly.
184 184 points ended up being scored in that game. I mean, based on the systems that you guys run and how you the style that both you and the Greyhounds play, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's based on just having guys that can shoot and make plays, all 5 guys on the court, which is what was happening. Mm-hmm. I mean, we both sort of recruit to be able to do that. So you saw it on display last night. So definitely have to work on our defense, coming into Saturday.
12 ties, 19 lead changes. That's is that something within the game? I mean, obviously a gist of what's going on, but do you know every possession, every score, every time a score is tallied? Are you paying attention to that, or is it more big picture and then you look up occasionally and realize?
I mean, you're just trying to figure out what they're generally trying to do on offense, and what do they think is going to work, and then trying to get a feel, so you can tell your guys this is generally what you guys should be thinking about and looking at, because they're all going to have opportunities to make plays, so they all have to know, this is what we should be looking for. It's not just running a single play where everybody's in a certain spot and they just do their job, so to speak. It's everybody has to be able to use a ball screen, get into the paint, make a play, finish, kick it out to shooters. You got to kick out. You got to know what to do. So it doesn't matter who, makes which part of the play. Everybody has to be able to do all of those things, which is, if you're a player, it's a fun way to play. And I know our guys are excited after the win.
Yeah, and you look at the fact, you mentioned 6 different players in double-digit scoring. First time since 2004 that an Eagles team has done that. Saeed had 21, Gasparini had 16, Connor Nelson, he also had 16, 14 for Jameer, and then Stacy had 13, and Jacob had 10. So spreading the ball, I mean, that pretty much is right what you're talking about that you want to do, and they were able to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much pressure on Kosteka, for them to do what he essentially did. I mean, carrying the load, and I mean, he's a hard guy to stop because he can do so many things, and they spread you out. But I think the difference was Saeed, allowing his team to help him. Having 6 guys in double figures versus Loyola had 2. Mm-hmm. I think was a big part of it. And
you mentioned Kosteka. He had 32 points, fouled out in the beginning of the overtime stanza. How much did that help you guys, the fact that he was out of the game for those last few minutes?
Yeah, well, he can, single-handedly win games. So, having him not in the game was huge, but you still got to defend and do all the things you need to do. They're obviously, bit by the injury bug, and so when he gets into foul trouble, that's a big blow for them. But still, it goes down to the last seconds, to get the win, and that's how it's always going to be. I mean, I talked to the Loyola radio guy or TV guy, whoever it was, and he's saying, oh, you guys have won X amount of games in a row, and they've lost X amount of games, and I said, sounds like coach speak, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna play 5 guys. Whoever's on the court, they're gonna be good. They're gonna be able to make plays, and you got to be ready to compete, and it's gonna go down to the wire no matter what. So that's where I'm not surprised. I'm just happy that our guys can, sort of stick with it and continue to fight throughout. Losing a lead and it having to go to overtime. Sometimes that's deflating. But it's happened to us a couple times, and our guys have bounced back and just kept fighting and pulled out the W.
And how much is that going to help moving forward, that you guys under pressure are able to pull out W's? The couple buzzer beaters you've had this year, the overtime victory here against Loyola. How much is that going to help as you start to turn the corner toward the second half of Patriot League play and entering into the postseason eventually?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no substitute for experience. So we talk about having confidence in certain guys. In the last 8 minutes of the game, the last 4, the last 2. Well, it's the same thing. I mean, having guys bounce back and be able to have a game go in overtime. And then be able to pull out the win and have different guys making different types of plays, having them out there experiencing that. It just gives them just the confidence and the comfort level to move forward and just be in tight games and be ready to make plays offensively and defensively.
Now, I know you were a little frustrated at some of the things that went down the stretch. Just talk through what it was that you would have liked to have seen down the stretch.
Well, I mean, mostly I'm frustrated with myself just because we had timeouts, and a lot of times there's 8 seconds left, and a guy you get the ball and you can come down in transition, and the defense isn't set. Do you take advantage of that happening, or do you call timeout and make sure that everyone's on the same page? So weighing those things at the end of regulation and at the end of overtime. Was something that now that we're in these situations over and over, that I have to be more cognizant of that and ready to call those timeouts. But it's when you got a guy like Saeed, you want him to be able to go, and you trust his sort of natural instincts. So it's finding that balance is what we got to be thinking about going forward.
Yeah, I was going to say, having a guy like Saeed as a floor general in those moments, now he's 8th all time in the Patriot League in scoring. So that speaks to experience. That's got to be good for the team and for you.
Yeah, and he keeps sharing the ball. So as much as it's the scoring, he had 9 rebounds and 8 assists. So it's all the other stuff that he's doing. We win that game because Connor's making shots early, and Jacob's making shots early. So people are contributing, and they're part of the game. They're involved. So when you're down the stretch and in overtime, it's not like the first time Connor has to drive and make a play or catch the ball, make a shot or Jameer or anybody else on the team. And then again, Stacy's kind of we don't talk about him a lot. He's unsung, but he's continuing to just do so much for us. One of the sort of most important plays of that game was not a play call. It was just we called the play, but they took an option away. So you have Connor and Stacy sort of working together. Connor was able to adjust and read the play, and Stacy cuts and he gets a wide open layup, and that's just them sort of being basketball players. So that was a huge play.
Indeed. Another thing that you talked about after the game against Loyola was the double-double that Gasparini had, the 16 points, 12 rebounds. You were really pleased with what he did on the offensive boards.
Yeah, well, he's a big part of what we do. He gives us scoring at the rim. He's getting to the foul line. I think he's doing, a terrific job on the defensive end. Just sort of, not getting into foul trouble, understanding the charge circle, jumping straight up, making guys miss, and then going after rebounds. But the offensive rebounding is the thing that's really jumped up in the last few games. He's putting pressure, on teams, getting us extra shots. So it shows that he's continuing to listen and develop his contributions. Because Connor had some big offensive rebounds in the last couple of games, and it sticks out. Where it's like, okay, if you have a team full of guys that are trying to win, you have everybody being a part of that. So it's good to see, Gasparini doing that.
Mm-hmm. Another big component was free throws. You guys were 18 of 19 in that game against the Greyhounds, and the only one that was missed was Saeed's last one there. It's not the sexiest part of basketball, the free throws, but what emphasis do you put on making it from the charity stripe? Because there have been times this year that, you guys haven't really been that hot from the free throw line.
Right, yeah. Well, again, it goes back to experience. I mean, the most important thing is getting there. Mm-hmm. So in the past, we haven't been as aggressive or haven't understood that that's a big part of the game. Getting to the rim, getting the ball inside, getting to the free throw line. So you got to get there first, and then again, the way we play, it's not like one guy. Saeed's usually going to the foul line a lot because he's so aggressive and he's at the rim. Mark, he made a bunch in our last game as well. So just getting guys comfortable. Getting guys getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, having those game free throws under their belt, just sort of serves you well going forward.
All right, well, it is time for our first time out here on AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. When we continue, Marvin Bragg joins the discussion. That's next.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
In the Patriot League, academics and athletics work in harmony. We are dedicated to success on the field of play, in the classroom, and in the community. A competitive athletic experience with high academic standards. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
Welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. We're now joined by junior Marvin Bragg, and thanks for taking some time. Appreciate it.
Most definitely. How you doing today?
Good, good.
That's good.
You must be doing well. You must be having a lot of fun right now. This team's sitting at 5-2.
Yeah, it's great. It feels a lot better. It feels a lot better. Trust me, because first 2 years here weren't bad, but they weren't so well. But this year, we look really, really good. It's going well. So I'm really excited for the rest of the Patriot League.
What is it that you think this year seems to be clicking so well with you guys?
I just feel like our older guys are actually older. Like I'm a junior now. Stacy's a junior. Saeed's a senior, Mark's a senior. So we're have that 2 years of experience. And it's like we're teaching JB and Jameer's a junior, but it's his first year here, and Connor and Ben are all wanting to learn. So it makes everything so much easier just to move across the season.
Mm-hmm. Do you like that role? Do you like to sort of teach some of the young guys?
Oh yeah, most def. I tell my teammates, if I play 5 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't care. As long as we win the game, that's the most important thing. So it's if Connor's out there doing what he's supposed to do, I'm cheering him more, because if we win, I'm happy, and we lose, it's a type of story. But I'm always had to help guys learn.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously I watch the majority of your games. I broadcast all the home games. And you're always one of the first guys, if you're not in the game, you're one of the first guys off the bench during a timeout to come out and, congratulate the guys and really hype them up as they're walking back.
Yeah, most of them. Like, the guys like look up to me and hear what I got to say, because, I mean, I just watch and I'm seeing what they can't see. So if I see something's wrong, I'm like, yo, fix this to see if you can do this in the game, But I'm always just looking to help the guys out, because, I mean, I'm trying to win. I'm trying that Patriot League championship is a goal of ours, and we're trying to get that. So as long as everybody's on the same page, I'm happy.
How is it this year as far as the chemistry component goes of this squad? When you take a look back at some of the previous years and then you look at this year, and you guys all seem to have a lot of, for lack of a cheesier term, positive energy. It seems like there's a lot of smiles on the team and a lot of guys having fun.
Yeah, I just feel like we all genuinely care about each other, and we don't take the criticism too much to heart. It's about getting better, because we all love each other. We're all like brothers. It's a real brotherhood this year. I just feel like if anything goes wrong, I'm gonna look out hey man, this needs to be fixed, and he'll take it and be okay. I'm listening to Marvin or whoever it is saying it to them. So it's we're just all genuinely care about each other, and it's about winning at the end of the day. So
when you look at a guy like Saeed, I mean, he's said the exact same thing. It's all about winning, especially with him being a senior. He really wants to seal up a Patriot League title. What has it been like playing with him on the floor?
Yeah, he does a lot of things that just it's always a wow in a sense. I see it every day in practice, but in the game it's still well, how did he pull that off? Some of his layups, some of the passes he makes, man, I don't think get some credit for his pass. He's really a really great passer. And I'm just that wows me. I'm man, he's whipping it across the court, getting it right on target. I'm just this is insane. But he just makes it a lot easier for all of us. Senior guard, he's always solid, always focused in the game. He's always determined to go out there and compete. So it makes our jobs easier.
Now that's on the floor. What about off the floor as a leader and as a dude?
Oh, leader, man. He's always been a leader since I've been here. And I'm kind of just taught, I would say taught him, but kind of helped him in that way, and just being more vocal. Because when I got here, he was more just by example, and now he's more vocal. More willing to just open his mouth and say something he sees. And he's a great guy. We always crack jokes. It's always good times with him.
And this team is so likable, and you had the rally in the alley before the Holy Cross game, and that was fun. And just talk about. I mean, you did a little dance. You showed off your moves a little bit. Talk about what that means to the team to have that energy and the people come out before the game as you guys are walking into the arena.
Most definitely. We always want the fan support. This right there, I feel like that's something that'll start something bigger. I feel here because I feel like our fans, come out to certain type of games, but if we have that fan support every game, it makes a big difference for us playing for sure. Just hearing fans boo the ref for a bad call, just oh okay, our fans are on our side, So it's just the fans are very important in us winning too.
Let's talk about your dance moves there. I mean, we only saw a couple seconds of it.
Yeah.
But do you like dancing? Was that something that just happened just on the?
No, I'm for sure.
We're in the moment, or are you constantly?
No, I'm for sure by far the best dancer on the team.
Okay, you're self-proclaimed.
Oh, most definitely the best dancer. So yeah, I just having a good time. Bringing joy to the team, positive energy. That's all.
Who else tries to dance? You say you're the best. Who else tries?
Saeed tries.
Okay.
Doesn't always succeed, but it's a good effort. And then Jameer probably second in line. Jameer and Christian, I will feel. Yeah.
You talk about Jameer. Talk about the relationship that you have with him, and just what a teammate he's become. Last year he was around as a transfer from Minnesota, and now this year he's playing on the floor.
No, yeah, most last year, me and him, we were we would talk, but this year just he's playing and we're living together, just that brotherhood is for sure increased, and he's also a hardworking guy. He wants to win, he wants to compete, so it's he cares about the game of basketball day in and day out, regardless of wins, losses, or how he feels that day. So next year will be another great year because I'll have him around still, So it's all love with all these guys.
Now you guys have, you and Jameer have come up with a vlog.
Yeah.
Inside the locker room.
Yes.
How'd you guys come up with that?
It was something that we kind of talked about previously, but now since Patriot kind of started, it was brought up. It was let's make this happen right now. So we're just trying to increase that every day, just make more content for people to enjoy, because the fans want to see that, so fans will come out. Just little snippets and bits and pieces here, but hopefully that'll become something major to be a part of our our brand.
Now he wants to, Jameer, that is, wants to go into broadcasting.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that he's talked about. Looking at what part of entertainment, because I know that's one of your majors here.
Yeah.
What part of entertainment are you looking at? Are you looking at broadcasting? Are you looking at acting? You want to be an agent?
Yeah,
What are you looking at?
I for sure want to be an agent, for sure sports agent. If not that, like a talent manager for either like an artist or a type of musician, something like that. But for sure, like music or sports, I'm big in sports and I'm big in music, so I want to stay close to those, as close as possible.
Now you came from California. You came from Cerritos, which is right on the Orange County, LA County line, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So what brought you across the country here to AU?
Well, for sure, sports, for sure that, and then also like I wanted to get away from home. I've been living in California all my life, and like I wanted to get away, actually, and like go experience college. So and, like DC is similar to LA, I should say, the big city, got a lot of sports here, So it was like a lot of similarities. So only difference is the weather. Weather is completely different. But other than that, like there's a lot of similarities. So I kind of feel at home in a sense.
Are you reacting well to? I mean, it's been a few years now.
Yeah,
Are you reacting okay to the cold and having to put on a few layers and get out there?
That first year was rough. I was shivering, complaining. I didn't know if I was gonna make it, but I'm comfortable now.
Now, Colgate is the next game you guys have, and going up against the Raiders, you talk about wanting to win. And right now, they're in the penthouse. They have sole possession of that top spot. What is it going to take going up against Colgate to pull off a dub?
Just be focused every possession. Like when we're focused on every possession, locked in every possession, offensively and defensively, we're look amazing out there. I feel like when we have these like lapses, offensively and defensively, that's when teams kind of go on the little runs and like punches in the face. But as long as we're locked in, like I have confidence in from top to bottom, like we can get this done. And further this streak, 3-game win streak. I'm trying to keep
it going,
right? Exactly.
Well, best of luck in the game against the Raiders, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, as always.
All right, that's Marvin Bragg right there. We'll be back with more on AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf.
Welcome to our sleepy little college town. You may have heard of us. Here we stand up for causes as naturally as we sit down for classes. We believe that knowledge, understanding, and discovery will make the world a better place, and that our contributions are only limited by our imaginations. Words, medals, and degrees don't make us who we are. Meaningful change does.
We are American.
And there's nothing we would rather be.
Welcome back to AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. And Coach, we just talked to Marvin Bragg, one of the more energetic guys with a great personality, and he was talking about the rally in the alley. What did that mean to this team to really propel the crowd and get the crowd going, and that energy sort of carried over from outside to inside? And how much did that help you get the W over the Crusaders?
Yeah, no, I thought it was an awesome event. I was so happy that they put it on. Took a lot of different groups and students and administration working together. And there was a lot of energy. Our guys appreciated it. I think it's good for our students and our team to interact like that more. And then there was a lot of noise and energy once the game started. So mostly our guys appreciate it. They enjoy having people at the games, and hopefully it's a great event for the students too. I know Dr. Walker and his staff, they try to do all they can to make it a great experience for the students. We try to do as much as we can. So if we can sort of build upon that, and entice them to come back for more games, hopefully we can do that.
Are you going to look forward to the next one? We saw Marvin dancing a little bit, and you just walked in, you smiled, you waved, you were happy. But maybe we can see you dance, maybe cut a rug a little bit coming in next time?
I don't think that would help. That might make it worse.
Deter people.
Yeah, but Marvin is fun to be around. He's an energetic kid, and he's a great teammate, and he's been doing a great job for us this year. So his minutes has been up and down. He's injured early, so that didn't help him. But he knows what he's doing. I feel confident that I can put him in the game. He's a veteran. He knows what we're looking for. He's constantly talking on the bench, talking in timeouts. So having an upperclassman like that is huge. I
was going to say, he's one of the first guys off the bench out, during timeouts or whatever, to welcome the guys back, give them high fives, and sort of bring that energy, regardless of if you guys are up or down at that point when there's stoppage on the court.
Yeah, no, and he understands. He knows what we should be, doing offensively and defensively. So he's always saying the right stuff. And Jesse's in the same boat, not playing a ton as a junior right now, but those guys, I feel confident that I can put them in the game at any point, and they would, be 100%, trying to do, what we need them to do on both ends of the court.
Let's jump into Colgate. Important game, big game coming up, and it's a chance for you guys to tie for the penthouse in the Patriot League. They currently have it 6-1. You guys are tied for second with a record of 5-2. What does that mean for this team at this point in the season to be playing for that against the Raiders and such a good team that they are?
Yeah, well, it's still early, so all the standings and all that kind of stuff is not completely irrelevant. I'm glad that we're doing well and that we're winning games. You got to try and keep winning home games. Yeah. But the most important thing is that we're executing, that we know what we're trying to do offensively, how we're trying to stop them, which is very difficult to do. They're such a good offensive team. But as long as we're doing the things that we're practicing and competing and executing, that's all you can ask for.
And Rapopanauskas, you've said you think is even better this year than he was last year, that you've seen improvements in his game throughout the year.
Yeah, well, again, it just goes back to, comfort level, understanding winning, understanding everything that goes into it. And they have so many weapons, they're all surrounding each other, and they're all such good offensive players. You can see them, just really, playing very, very well together.
What have you seen from Jordan Burns? I think that's going to be an interesting look to see Burns and Saeed on the same floor at the same time.
He's a terrific player. He can really, really shoot. He's a great decision maker. He can really pass, and he puts just so much pressure on you. But again, it's their whole group that makes it really difficult.
Well, best of luck against the Raiders.
All right, thanks, Dan.
All right, that's Coach Brennan, and that will do it for this edition of AU Hoop Talk with Coach Brennan, presented by Launchbox Golf. To follow the Eagles, you can do so across all the social media platforms. For Coach, I'm Dan. We'll see you next time.